Scott here. Hello everyone, Scott Burry here. Time for another fireside reading. This time I'm reading from one of the books I've edited that came out recently. It's Nowhere to Run by Elyse Salpeter. And it is a paranormal thriller. It starts off in New York City. So here is a scene with the lead character, a woman, who, well, I'll get right into it. That particular Tuesday morning was already 80 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning when I left my apartment to catch the E train to my office. Of course, I was on guard. When the most recent national alert is broadcast on every online site and news stations across the country that this time now all Jewish females between the ages of 30 to 35 years old, physically fit with light brown hair and blue-green eyes, should be on the lookout for being a potential kidnap victim, you would expect to be on edge. Yet, in a city as big as New York, you never think you're any more special than anyone else. It's just the logistics of living in a locale with millions of people. As I turned the corner on 56th Street and Park Avenue, just as the light turned green, an old man in a seersucker suit dodged a car and bumbled across the intersection. Amid the honking of the annoyed cabs, he stumbled right into me and dropped all his belongings on the sidewalk. His papers went flying and he could barely keep his eyeglasses on his face as he bent to retrieve the documents that people simply stepped on as they passed by without a care. I bent down to grab his open briefcase while he frantically shoved papers back into it before the breeze whipped them away. "Are you okay?" I asked. The man glanced at me sheepishly, and I remember his light blue eyes and his gold horn-rimmed glasses. He reminded me of a kindly grandfather. "Yes, just clumsy. Thanks for helping me. I really appreciate it. Nobody else in this city seems to give a damn." He had an accent I couldn't place. Two businessmen bent down to help us, and I could see their hands were already filled with stray papers. "Can we give you guys some help?" Grandpa's answer was immediate. He leaned towards me and with surprising strength gripped my shoulders while the other two men surrounded me from behind. There was a sudden sharp sting in my arm, and I turned to see a needle shoved into my right tricep. I struggled more than I ever had in my life, but they held me fast as my body stopped working. I vaguely remembered thinking how quickly you could get mugged on a busy street in Manhattan, and no one would have any idea because no one was paying enough attention to anyone else around them. They were either stoned on pot, engrossed in their cell phones, or hidden behind the smoke from vaping. Dizziness overwhelmed me, and darkness crept across my vision. From far away, I heard Grandpa yelling to people on the street, "Someone help! We need to get this lady to a hospital!" People screamed and shouted, and then something large and white screeched to a halt in front of me. Then the feel of many hands picking me up and hoisting me inside. I felt like luggage. After that, I passed out. I had vanished from the face of the earth. The date was July 20th. All anyone could remember of the incident was that three businessmen had tried to help a businesswoman who'd passed out on the street and had taken her to the hospital. What did stick out in everyone's terrified minds was that I would be the 10th person to have been taken in public in a white van, which they connected to 9 other kidnapped victims throughout the country. 5 matched couples died. And that is Nowhere to Run by Elyse Salpeter, a book I'm proud to have edited. You can find it on Amazon and on my own website, writtenword.ca. Look for the bookstore link. Thanks.